After the breakup, Era believed the world had quietly pushed her aside. She had loved with a loyalty that never asked for proof in return. For 4 years, she built her life around a man who promised a future but slowly erased her presence from it. She adjusted her routines, delayed her dreams, and silenced her doubts because she thought love meant endurance. When he finally ended things, he didn't shout or cry. He simply said he had outgrown her and that the woman he wanted now matched his ambitions better. The betrayal didn't come from his words alone. It came from how easily he replaced her, how confidently he walked away, leaving her to collect the fragments of a life she had centered around him. Aira didn't beg, she didn't scream. She stood there numb, listening as if it were happening to someone else. Only when she returned to her small apartment did the truth sink in. The silence felt cruel. Every corner reminded her of shared plans that would never happen. That night, she cried until her chest hurt, not because she lost him, but because she lost herself while loving him. The following weeks were mechanical. Wake up, work, smile, sleep, repeat. Her colleagues noticed the change, but no one asked too much. In the city, broken hearts were common and sympathy was rare. She carried her pain quietly, like a secret she was ashamed to admit. One evening, after working late, Era left her office feeling unusually heavy. The sky threatened rain and her thoughts wandered dangerously close to memories she tried to bury. Her phone vibrated, a message from her ex, short, casual, as if he hadn't shattered her world. I hope you're doing okay. She stared at the screen, then turned the phone off. She didn't see the speeding bicycle until it was too late. The impact wasn't severe, but the fall was. Pain shot through her ankle as she hit the pavement. The cyclist apologized briefly before disappearing into traffic. Era tried to stand but collapsed again. Breath shaking, tears blurring her vision. Rain began to fall, light at first, then heavier. People passed. Some glanced. None stopped. Just as her strength gave out, a black luxury car slowed beside her. The door opened, and a man stepped out holding an umbrella with effortless calm. He didn't rush, didn't panic. He observed her injury with sharp eyes, already calculating what to do next. Can you stand? He asked, his voice low but steady. She shook her head. Without hesitation, he crouched down, shielded her from the rain, and carefully helped her up. His arm was firm around her, not invasive, not hesitant. She leaned on him despite herself, embarrassed by her vulnerability. My driver will take us to the hospital, he said. She wanted to refuse. She didn't like being dependent, but the pain won. Inside the car, warmth surrounded her. The man removed his coat and placed it gently around her shoulders. She noticed the quiet authority in his movements, the kind that didn't need to announce itself. His name was Lee Junhao. She didn't know then that he was the CEO of Junhao Group, a billionaire whose decisions influenced entire industries. To her, he was simply a stranger who stopped when no one else did. At the hospital, he stayed until her ankle was treated. He spoke to the doctor with calm efficiency, ensuring she received proper care. When it was time to leave, he handed her his card. If you need anything, he said, call. She nodded, unsure if she ever would. Their paths should have ended there. They didn't. Days later, Era arrived at work to find the office buzzing with tension. A major acquisition had been announced overnight. Their company was now under new ownership. When Lee Junhao walked into the conference room as the new CEO, her heart skipped, not with excitement, but with disbelief. He recognized her instantly. His expression didn't change, but his eyes softened briefly. From that day on, Era's life shifted subtly. She expected awkwardness, maybe cold professionalism. Instead, Junhao treated her with quiet respect. He never brought up the accident, never crossed boundaries, but somehow he was always aware of her workload, her stress, her limits. When her ex-boyfriend appeared again, sensing opportunity in her connection to power, Era felt old wounds reopen. He apologized half-heartedly, blaming misunderstandings, pretending regret. But she saw through him now. One evening, when he tried to follow her after work, Junhao intervened. She's not interested, Junhao said calmly, standing between them. The authority in his voice left no room for argument. From then on, rumors spread. Whispers about favoritism, about intentions. Era feared being reduced to gossip again. But Junhao addressed it directly. Your work speaks for itself, he told her. No one gets to question your worth. A slowly trust replaced fear. Junhao wasn't openly affectionate. He wasn't dramatic. His care came in small, steady actions. He made sure she got home safely. He defended her professionally. He listened, truly listened when she spoke. Era learned about his past in fragments. A childhood shaped by betrayal. A family where love was conditional and weakness punished. He built his empire by trusting no one completely, until her honesty disarmed him. He didn't save her. He stood with her. When threats arose, corporate rivals targeting her reputation, anonymous messages questioning her character, Junhao handled them decisively. He never asked her to hide, never asked her to endure silently. I won't let anyone hurt you, he said once. Not because you're fragile, but because you matter. The proposal came quietly. No audience, no pressure. I don't want to protect you as a responsibility, he said, holding her hands. I want to choose you. Every day. Era accepted with tears she didn't try to hide. Their marriage stunned everyone. Critics waited for her downfall. But what they saw instead was partnership. respect, balance. Junhao didn't cage her freedom. He amplified it. And when Era looked back at her heartbreak, she realized something profound. The breakup wasn't her ending. It was her beginning. Marriage did not make Era's life easier overnight, but it made it steadier. After becoming Lee Junhao's wife, she expected her world to shrink into luxury and isolation, the way people often assumed happened to women who married powerful men. Instead, Junhao surprised her again. He didn't ask her to quit her job immediately. He didn't confine her to a role she hadn't chosen. He asked her one simple question on the morning after their wedding. What kind of life do you want now? No one had asked her that in years. Era took time to answer. She realized she didn't want to be hidden, but she didn't want to be exposed either. She wanted dignity, purpose, growth. Junhao listened carefully, not interrupting, not steering her decision. When she finished, he nodded. Then that's the life we'll build. Public attention came quickly. Media outlets speculated endlessly about their relationship. Some painted her as a lucky nobody who married into power. Others accused her of ambition masked as innocence. Every article tried to define her without knowing her. At first, the noise overwhelmed her. Old insecurities resurfaced, whispering that maybe she didn't deserve this life. Junhao noticed. One night, when she sat quietly scrolling through cruel headlines, he took the phone from her hand and placed it face down. You don't need to fight the world, he said calmly. Let me handle the noise. You focus on who you are. He never silenced her voice, but he shielded her from unnecessary harm. Lawsuits were filed against defamation. Threats were traced and eliminated before they reached her. Junhao never dramatized his protection. He treated it as something natural like breathing. But protection didn't mean control. When Air decided to pursue further education in business strategy, people questioned her motives. Junhao supported her without hesitation. He never once used his influence to push her ahead unfairly. In fact, he insisted she be evaluated independently. She doesn't need shortcuts, he told the board. She needs space. As months passed, confidence replaced hesitation. She spoke with clarity, carried herself with quiet strength, and stopped apologizing for existing. Her presence beside Junhao wasn't ornamental, it was equal. Her ex-boyfriend reappeared again, this time publicly. An interview, a fabricated story. He claimed he had been the one abandoned, that Era had chased wealth and discarded him. The narrative spread quickly, threatening to undo everything she had returned. Junhao responded not with anger, but precision, evidence, timelines. Truth, the lies collapsed within days. Her ex vanished from the spotlight, humiliated by his own desperation. That night, Era broke down for the first time since their marriage. Not from weakness, but from release. Junhao held her without words, his presence steady and unshakable. You don't have to be strong all the time, he whispered. I didn't marry perfection. I married you. The more storms they faced, the more deeply their bond rooted itself. Love for them wasn't loud romance. It was loyalty during pressure, respect under scrutiny, choice made every single day. Junhao's past eventually caught up with him. A powerful rival corporation launched an aggressive takeover attempt, not just targeting his company, but his personal life. They leaked distorted stories, questioned Era's influence, and tried to paint her as his weakness. Junhao didn't hide her. Instead, he stood beside her publicly, hand in hand, addressing the board and the press with unwavering calm. My wife is not my weakness, he said. She is the reason I stand unshaken. The attack failed, but the stress took its toll. Junhao grew quieter, more withdrawn. Era recognized the signs he was retreating behind old walls. This time, roles reversed, she didn't push. She didn't accuse, she stayed. Late nights, silent meals, long pauses. She endured them with patience, reminding him of the man he had allowed himself to become with her. Slowly, he opened again, admitting fears he had never spoken aloud. Fear of loss, fear of trust, fear of loving too deeply. Era listened the way he once listened to her. We protect each other, she said softly. That's what this is. When the crisis passed, Junhao took her away from the city. No media, no meetings. Just quiet days where time slowed. They're stripped of power and titles. They rediscovered something simple, peace. Era realized then that love didn't need grand gestures, it needed safety. Years later, when she stood on a stage receiving recognition for her independent achievements, she searched the crowd instinctively. Junhao was there, not in the spotlight, watching her with pride that needed no applause. She smiled, knowing exactly how far she had come. From a woman discarded after a breakup, to a woman who chose herself, who married not into wealth but into respect, who was protected without being diminished. Her past no longer haunted her, it shaped her. And Junhao, the billionaire CEO the world feared, had learned something he never expected. That true strength wasn't control, it was devotion. Their story wasn't about rescue. It was about two broken paths crossing, not to escape pain, but to transform it into something unbreakable. And this time, love stayed.